That's funny. Well, Mr. Khan, welcome back and thank you for coming back. Appreciate it, man.
No worries. Take two.
That's it, mate. Students demanding this, right?
Yeah. This one's on demand. They're sticking with the Ajax theme. Last time it was the Bob Marley one.
Yep.
This is the away one.
Yep. That's it, man. How's the tea?
The tea is fantastic. You make a really good husband one day. Oh, sorry, you are married, aren't you?
Right, man. Let's get it going, man. So, listen, from last time, I'll look at the TikTok comments as well. Let's have a look at TikTok, actually.
Yeah.
You know what? That's going to be fun. What the hell is that? Right, let me turn that off.
That's Dutch language, that.
Dutch language.
Actually got a decent garden, haven't you?
Yeah, I know, man. Needs a lot of work to it, to be fair. Where are you, Mr. Khan? Let's have a look. So yeah, walk us through the feedback last time with your students. What were they saying when they seen your video?
You know what it is? Nowadays, obviously, they're just buzzing that one of their teachers is online or he's on TikTok, on Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah.
So they kind of have that wow factor with it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's kind of helped me in a way, like some of the challenging kids, like, oh, so you're famous, aren't you? Yeah, just a bit. I'm like, thanks to Amplified Hustle. And then they're like, okay, so they kind of you can build that rapport with them, like indirectly in that way.
Yeah.
Well, I always tell them to make sure you like and subscribe, watch the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
The last second.
Yeah.
Obviously,
They learn something from it, man.
Yeah, we want to promote local businesses.
SOPH said, "Oh, Mr. Khan, my fave sub. Are you a substitute teacher then?"
So yeah, when I do supply teaching, obviously I'm classed as a sub. That's their word.
Okay.
But the fact that you shouldn't focus on the word sub, you should focus on the word favourite.
Favourite.
Because with this next generation, it's very hard to be like a favourite teacher.
One comment said, "Best sub in the world, but he gave me a red line."
Red line behaviour.
What is that?
Apologies, guys. Red line behaviour is like answering back, maybe doing something that you shouldn't be doing in class. So it could be a whole host of things. But I like that he said, "I'm still the best," but when he steps out of line, you got to give him that red card.
Listen, I got a question for you. As a teacher, what would you say that? What most annoys you about your job?
Obviously, sometimes you have to go from one room to the other. The students can get there before you. And they're just prattling about. Seriously. The fact that there's no adult there doesn't mean you can mess about or throw pens across the room or pencils or whatever. Just calm down. Just be sat there nicely, quietly until a teacher arrives. Yeah. That's all we ask for. We don't ask for much. We just want a peaceful life.
Listen, don't you find it boring teaching the same stuff over and over again?
No, because they're teaching different people.
Right.
Yeah, it's like some people who don't watch football say to us, "How do you?"
Because it's repetitive, isn't it? You're just saying the same stuff that you already know.
Yeah, but in essence, that does make the job easier as well. Every day is different.
From year 7 to year 11?
Yeah, and A-level.
And
A-level, yeah.
So you could go into a class and literally you could be teaching year 11s. One next day you're going in teaching year 7.
Yeah. So you could go from a bottom set year 7 who are really struggling, who can't read and write, to a high achieving A-level class.
Yeah.
Within the space of an hour. And you got to just switch on.
Yeah, exactly. But how do you prepare that? Prepare for that.
Well, obviously, if it's a regular lesson, if it's like your timetable, then you can prepare for it a bit more than if you're just given a random lesson. Then if you're thrown into a random lesson, the expectation is the work is there, you're just stepping in.
Got you.
Like sometimes I might go into a history lesson, like the other day I was in a history lesson.
Yeah.
And it was about World War One or something.
Luckily, it was just about World War One, did you?
What? So then luckily it was just a BBC iPlayer video. And then watch and make notes. I was like, fair enough. We're all learning here.
Yeah.
So let's just sit down and just have a chilled lesson. And just
what if the video wasn't there? Then what would you do in that?
Then I'd watch a documentary or something. Or there's Oak National Academy, which is good for any parents that are homeschooling and stuff. Everything's on there. RE, science.
Do you know when you say that you go into a class and the work's already there? Do you mean like it's already laid out on the desk? Like this is what
yeah. So sometimes it'll be printed. Depends what the teacher wants.
Yeah.
In this case, obviously, it was a documentary. Then they get their books out. They just make notes. Otherwise, there'll be sheets printed out that give them the first 15 minutes they're doing this, then they're doing this, then they're doing that, and there might be a PowerPoint associated with that.
Is that always there in every single?
Oh yeah, 100%. Some schools are
the structure.
Yeah. Some schools that are not well run, there's nothing.
You just have to wing it.
Yeah, you have to wing it. Yeah, but I think with 9 years of teaching experience, winging has become norm, second nature now. It's just in life and football and everything now. The transferable skills, you see.
Yeah. Wait, I'm just looking through the I'm looking at the TikTok comments as well. You're quite popular, aren't you?
Well, it's thanks to people like yourselves.
He's such an icon.
Uh,
And this other person started tagging every single student that she can think of. You can tell.
It's ideal, you know. That's how things go viral.
Yeah.
Icon, wow.
You're such an icon. That's it. We need to get a plaque now. That was good, man. So yeah, what else were your students saying from the last?
No, they just
video
enjoyed
that you've
it.
seen?
They just thought it was good content. I know
Okay.
a lot of the questions.
They
that
learned
you
something from it.
Yeah, and it was based on education anyway. Because a lot of the times they ask us in class, "Oh, what's it like being a teacher?" This, that, the other. They'll ask you, you know. But this, they watched the whole episode and they understood, you know, life of a teacher really, in a way.
Yeah.
And they really picked up on that Xbox example. You know, the one that
Oh
I gave you.
yeah.
To the extent that you know, if students misbehaving,
Yeah,
they're like, "Sir, you can buy me an Xbox." I'm like, you need to understand, it was his parent who bought him the Xbox.
Yeah.
You're messing about in my class. I'm not going to buy you an Xbox. But they just took it. It's become banter basically. So, yeah.
What's your favorite year? You'd say you like to teach?
In the current school, year 7s are pretty decent. Shout out to 7P4.
What makes you say that?
Because they're just a bit calmer. They're respectful. They're kind of new to the school.
Wait until they get to year 8, 9.
Sorry, yeah, if they keep this going, that's ideal. Yeah. Otherwise, they can go one way or the other.
Another person goes, "I'm speechless." Well, yeah. Look at these comments, man. They're popping off.
It's proper, like, it makes you feel real, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like when I did when I went to the guy's shop in Wakefield.
Yeah.
No name is mentioned what it's called. The guy that used to sell Prime.
Oh yeah.
So the day after I went to school.
Yeah.
Literally, I was mobbed.
Right.
Literally, students, like loads of them running towards me saying, "So we seen your video?" That got over 750k views.
Wow.
Because different people in different schools were tagging everyone in it.
Yeah.
And my manager said, "Are you okay?"
750k on your
on his.
On his. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I said, my manager said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Oh, it's just the fans." So
fans.
Seriously, that felt real.
Yeah.
You know, the way they were just in a crowd.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is their daily life, basically. You know, famous people.
Did they ask you to get, like, you know, I know you do private tuition, so they start asking you, like, "Oh, sir, can you teach me?" Or...
Yeah, some people, but it always, if you're in a school, it always has to go through the parents. You can't be in direct contact with students. Right, it has to be through the parents.
Right.
That's why, obviously, this time we'll put out my email address on there. As opposed to like.
Have any parents reached out to you or anything?
Yeah, they do. There. I mean, this year I don't know what's happened. It's just ridiculously busy. Yeah. So it's like every day there's 2 or 3 going on after school, and the weekends are just off the scale. Yeah.
The youth today, man, different.
Very different. And it's mobiles.
Social media.
It's mobiles and social media. We did not have this, and I cannot be grateful enough. Because we would have been hooked on it as well. So, you know, let's be honest.
Social media has so much demonic content.
Yeah.
That people can change, get influenced easily.
Easily.
Change their personality.
Yeah.
What you watch is what you become.
Yeah, 100%. And the pages you follow, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good content in there. Like sometimes you'll get a student, you'll do a practical, and they'll say, "Oh, we've done this. I've seen this on YouTube, sir." So you can get one step ahead of the game. Don't get me wrong. Like we only had revision guides. These guys have got so much stuff online.
Yeah, we have textbooks, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
And if you memorize that, you smash the exam basically.
Right.
These guys have different ways of learning and stuff like that. But the dark side is the dark side. There's so much like bullying going on there 24/7. Our days, again, you had a fight with someone, you shook hands.
Yeah, 1-on-1, that's it.
That's it done. These guys, the bullying carries on online and group chats, and it just keeps going, and then the videos get sent round, and the person's confidence is gone. So if he's lost a fight, that video's gone round. By the time he's probably got home, 300 to 30 people from school have seen it. Yeah. So then it's just one of them things like.
Thing is, mental health is a big thing. Like 100%. These people probably have anxiety and depression, and
you
don't know whether they have it.
And you know what? And vice versa.
It's quite sad, actually.
Vice versa for adults nowadays.
Yeah.
If the wrong clip goes viral about you, then you've had it. Especially in a place like this, like in school and stuff.
Yeah. They'll
be like, "Oh, you this, that, you're the person who fell off that car or whatever," and somebody recorded it, and then that's it, gone viral. Or like that guy, why you lying for? He went viral, didn't he?
Yeah.
Just because of the way he said that.
Yeah.
My mate, he was a progress coach at Bradford College, and he goes, people used to literally grab him and make a video with him and say it. What I lying for? And then he'd say it. But it became a bit awkward So he couldn't get about with his own business because he was viral for the wrong reasons. Kind of thing.
Those people that are in a vulnerable state.
Yeah.
They probably approach you. Do you help them on a consistent
Yeah,
basis?
of course.
Try to get them back
100%.
onto the right path.
And being a teacher has changed.
They will lose focus in your class because
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what's wrong with you? Like,
and whenever anything has happened, like for example in their private life or in their home life, and the staff get hold of that, they share that information with the staff. They tell them that we just be careful about mentioning this, that, the other in front of this child, maybe because let's say for example the parents are going through a split up. It's obviously an emotional time. It would be for anyone, whether you're an adult or a young child. So if their behavior is a bit different, then we need to kind of factor that in, rather than just going all guns blazing with them.
Yeah. You have a lot of banter with your students.
Yeah, 100%. That's the kind of point we were going to make earlier. That being a teacher nowadays is different. Back in the days, it was just teaching and that's it. Now you're almost like a positive role model. You have to understand their emotions, and if they're going through something, you have to be there for them. You have to be a listener. If they're going through any issues and they disclose them with you, you have to listen. And you have to be there for them. You have to be someone that they can go to and feel comfortable talking to. Otherwise, I don't think you're doing the job properly.
Yeah. That comes with a positive, doesn't it? Because that helps them stay focused and find a purpose.
100%. And if they trust you, like if they think you're the best and you're the favourite.
Well, you're going by these TikTok videos, what am I seeing? Icon, favourite, sub, all sorts. Yeah.
Speechless. Yeah, so basically, you've won, haven't you? You're winning.
Yeah.
If they think that of you before they even step foot in the lesson, and they're looking forward to your lessons.
Yeah.
And then the flip side of that is you look forward to teaching them. You got a really good class. You don't even feel stressed. You think, oh, I've got that class. Oh, they're amazing. They're gonna do the work. We're gonna have a laugh. Everyone's a winner.
Yeah. What's your favourite subject that you like to teach?
Urdu was quite fun. Yeah. I think being multilingual helps a lot. And I think it was more like the errors some people made were just too funny, as opposed to like science and maths and stuff like that, where the errors are more technical. But obviously, you speak 2 languages as well, don't
you?
Yeah. So certain words can totally flip the meaning.
Yeah.
So it's too funny, and they're like, you're gonna stop laughing at some point and explain what it means. Yeah. Languages are always interesting.
Right. Let's switch the gears a bit. Let's talk about Man U.
Oh, you mean switch the gears down? Because they're in no gear at the moment. They're stalling.
They need to dismantle that team, man.
Maguire,
get rid of him.
You know what?
I even think get rid of Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, there's no one left then.
They just need to buy and just...
The thing is, they've done that and it's not solved anything.
Yeah, but they haven't done it the right way.
But is there a right or wrong way? Like, why is Anthony suddenly Ronaldinho-esque in Real Betis? Why was he not doing that here? So the player's attitude, and I always refer it back to like students and stuff. If they want to work hard and get the results they want, they will do that. Even in a disrupted education system or school. These guys, they're hypocrites. Because why is it when a manager gets sacked suddenly, Casemiro's scoring and defending, and for the manager that he doesn't like, he's just walking around?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he's been there, done that. He's played with Modric and Ronaldo. He's won 5 Champions Leagues. Suddenly he's got Xerxes in front of him, Maguire behind him. So you can't totally blame him.
Maguire.
So, I mean, I watched them today. The first half was shocking. But my point being is, like, I watched them today. They played Everton away, which is never an easy game. David Moyes has got them just rolling again.
Yeah.
Might as well get David Moyes back now. So, but they were just clueless in the first half. Second half, they played well. They can play well when they want to.
Yeah.
And they became 2-2. So, and they nearly won it.
The defense is so weak.
Yeah. Maguire, Onana should nowhere near be the first team. He's such a con. Like, when you watch the replays, he dives after the ball's gone, just to make it look
his
like
his reflex is not the best, is it?
Yeah. De Gea suddenly is worth £1 million a week, isn't he?
Oh, my.
I can't believe they got rid of him.
That's another subject. Mate.
But again, like, so many years of mismanagement, wage structure, totally random. Somebody's getting 375k, somebody's getting 5k. There was these guys have put a wage cap. Their policy is they're only going to buy players under 25. which they've done in this transfer window and the last one as well. So you can understand what they're doing. It's just the way they're doing it. It doesn't look too good. The way they're getting rid of all these legends, charities, and hiking the prices. But he did have a point though. He goes, "Why should watching Man United and Fulham cost the same?" Think about it from a business point of view, and to be real.
Yeah.
If you want to watch these superstars who are international players, why should that cost the same as watching some randomers? In essence,
fair point though.
But he is kind of ripping the soul out of the club. But I think it's always hard to steady the ship. They've just been rolling around doing nothing. And Ineos is obviously, don't reckon they should have kept Ten Hag, regardless of whether he won the FA Cup.
Nah, I'm glad they got rid of it.
Mate. Yeah. No, they should have got rid of it in the summer.
Yeah, they should have got rid of it.
If he went then,
yeah,
then this manager would have come in, and then he could have at least got 4 or 5 of his own players. That guy who celebrates like that. Shout out to Sam. He does this as well. Yeah, and Chippy Chips. Oh yes, Chippy Chips, Cole Palmer. That's another thing. So you do that once in school, and the kids are like, "Oh, sir, do you know Chippy Chips?" The kid Cole Palmer. Or when I'm on duty, sometimes we play football.
Yeah.
And he score a goal, and you're like, they love a good celebration. So yeah, so Man United. What do you say? I think if the players buckle up, they should be fine. But there is a lot of players that are over 30 that just need to.
Yeah, it's just.
It's not a young man's game.
It's going to take years to rebuild that team. Honestly, it really is.
But then again, don't be surprised to get rid of this manager in the summer, because, not being funny, but if he's been there 6-7 months and they're looking worse than they were before, it needs to be reviewed, then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Get Mourinho back.
You still play football, Mourinho?
Jose Mourinho. Yeah. We play twice a week. No, it's good. It's good to stay active and stay fit. I always say to the students as well, I said every day you need to exercise at least half an hour to 45 minutes, regardless of what you look like. Because you might have a lot of internal fat, even though you might appear to be skinny, which is more dangerous.
Yeah.
So if your arteries and stuff are not, the blood's not flowing properly and there's fat deposits in there, it restricts blood flow. So it's always good to be active, good to be healthy. Absolutely, mate.
You don't do PE, do you? You don't teach?
Sometimes, yeah. If there's like randomly a teacher has to go somewhere or he's fallen sick and I've got a free period and you have to step in, yeah. I have badminton, I get involved. Yeah.
PE, football, I think that would be the first thing that you do.
No, it depends what they're doing. So,
right. Okay.
So on certain days they'll be doing PE, they'll be doing badminton, dodgeball, everything. Yeah, it brings back memories.
Have you seen Dodgeball the movie?
No. Yeah. It brings back memories of when we were kids and when we were playing that PE. So 2-3 years of my secondary school went to Pakistan, so we didn't have PE there. It was just PE, like dodging sticks.
Dodging sticks?
Yeah, when the teacher's trying to hit you with it. I'm talking the early 2000s.
Right.
So
have someone doing that, that's it.
Yeah, the thing is, then it was called discipline, now it's called child abuse.
Yeah.
So times have changed.
Yes.
But the punishment there was if you didn't do your work, you got hit with a stick. So it was interesting.
You know, when you mentioned earlier about bullying.
Yeah.
Does your way of teaching, so for example, you got a student and you know he's bullying this person. Does that change your opinion on the way you teach him or how you handle him in a certain way, or like, oh, this guy, man. Honestly, I wish, like, is there anything? Because obviously you're boxed in. There's nothing more you can do because he's going to carry on bullying.
No, within a classroom setting, you can obviously separate them. You can have a word with them and say, look, I've noticed what you're doing, and it's not acceptable. So give them the relevant sanctions. If they continue, they get taken away from the room, etc. If it's severe bullying, like you hear something that is really threatening, then you need to log that and let the head of EA know, or his form tutor know, or maybe even phone the parents and say, look, this is totally unacceptable. So we're going to give him a detention, and we'd recommend you have a word as well, or her, because if this continues, he may be managed out of school, essentially.
Yeah.
Again, it comes back to, do the parents want to go through all that nonsense of child being on managed moves and different schools? And sometimes there's siblings that go together to a school. If one isn't behaving and the school are kicking him out, then he's going to another school. Then you can imagine 2 drop-offs and 2 pickups, and it's just a roll-on effect. But some students I've seen that go to different schools still don't change, carry on. Maybe go there and disrupt other students and bring the bad about them. It's like a rotten apple. You put a rotten apple in a bag, eventually what's going to happen? They're all going to become rotten. So sometimes you have to remove that from the situation. The online thing, there's no kind of management for that, unfortunately. So if that student gets thrown out of that class and he says to that student, look, I'll see you online, watch, I'm going to deal with you. So he can go online and start posting mugs. Oh my God. Nowadays, the mug shots they get of each other, then they just start sending them viral and putting random captions on them. And
what is this on, like TikTok?
Snapchat, everywhere, wherever the social media they can get hold of. And they could basically bully the other person online all day and all night until the next day at school. So we can only obviously manage their behaviour in a way until we've got evidence and screenshots and until they're in the building in a way. Once they leave that, they're kind of in a different territory. However, it's still a severe thing to do because they're, in essence, they're abusing a student of ours. So we have wider responsibilities. If that's going to affect that student attending the school or next day his emotional state or his confidence, then we'll have to sit them down and have a mediation or bring the parents in. There's basically so much more levels to it now, just because of the phones.
Exactly. Because back in the day, like you know, somebody was bullying someone, used to hear them take the mick out of them. You know, the way they look or whatever, swearing, etc.
I don't think looks was too much of a thing. I don't think looks was too much of a thing nowadays.
Was it not? Okay.
I'm pretty sure we used to just inherit our elder brothers like jackets and stuff, and no matter what state they were in, and we just cracked on with it. I don't even remember too many people having like the neatest hair and stuff like that. Like it was just, I think because nowadays everyone's videoing themselves and they want to look a certain way, and they're following certain celebrities who look a certain way. This consciousness, body consciousness, has just gone from here to here. And whereas back in our days, I'll keep saying that because it was a thing. Like we just cracked on with it, got on with it. Like I think we were just more respectful. Whereas body shaming is a thing now, or fat shaming and stuff like that, where even if you make a little comment on someone about their appearance, everything's got a term now. It's homophobic, it's fat shaming, it's body shaming, it's this, that, the other. Whereas sometimes you might just be having a conversation, you know, or an observation about something. But everything's just offensive nowadays.
What's the one piece of advice you wish someone told you when you were young?
I think we were surrounded by decent characters and decent people. So I think they always did give us good advice. So like they always said work hard, which we did. They always said use your time wisely, which again we did used to play. But when it came to working in terms of education, we did that as well. That was a priority. Because then later on they said that'll get you a good job. They just generally, we had good role models. Nowadays it's different. So for example, we took advice. One of the main issues nowadays is you try advising young people, they don't take the advice. Or
why do you think that is?
They think they know more, in essence.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, they do have access to a lot more nowadays, information. We drew upon the life experiences of our elders. One of my friends is a dentist and he earns £50 per patient. And he has approximately 21 patients a day. Wow. That's over £1,000.
How many days a week does he work?
Well, he does 7. Because I think because he's got a couple of dental practices and he's got bits and bobs going on. But he loves it, he enjoys it. So when I say that to the students, especially the year 9 classes, I've got about 2 or 3 year 9 classes, and they sit up and listen, they're like, wow, you know what? If we work hard now, they're the kind of options we can get. If they waste this time now, then don't get me wrong, they probably will get certain jobs, but they won't be as financially rewarding as these. Because they didn't put that effort in then, when they could have. I mean, China, 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. secondary school students go to school. And they are knackered when they get home. So you can imagine...
See, I did not know that. That's interesting.
So you can imagine... there's
from 7 a.m.
till 10 p.m. There are a couple of benefits to this. What are you going to do when you get home at 10 p.m. if you're one of them students?
Go to bed.
Exactly. You're not going to go on TikTok, are you? You're not going to have a boyfriend, girlfriend at that age, most likely. Done. You're just there taking in information. And you know what I love about their model is they like life skills as well. So they'll do like compassion lessons where some of the young students will be acting like they sat at a bus stop or something. And there'll be somebody acting like an old person. And they're coming and one person will get up and say, why don't you sit here? Trust me, the compassion is draining our society in generally anyway. But if they're doing this kind of things, it just makes you a more rounded individual.
That's probably one of the reasons why they're so advanced.
100%. If
like
you
10 years ahead of us.
If you can grip the youth and guide them properly, then the world's your oyster. I think 1981 was the first motorway they built. 1981 is like yesterday. And look up now. So in this last 35 to 50 years, they've just gone from. The main thing they did was sort the youth out. Because they are the future.
Yeah, 100%. What makes you so different, would you say, as a teacher compared to other teachers?
I think the rapport with the students. Yeah, you have to follow the behavior policy, of course, otherwise you're not professional. But I think the compassion, the kindness, and the humor, 100%. And that's in any walk of life.
Yeah.
Like even the staff members at school say, like, you just brighten up our day, which is a good thing, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, we follow the model of our prophet, peace be upon him,
who
always smiled and always was caring and compassionate. So that's where it stems from. But I think, and this one bus driver, we'll never forget him. We only got that bus once. And my mate said, we were at uni then, and my mate said, oh, this guy, he's always bouncing, and he's always like
high on life,
in a jolly mood.
Yeah.
Hi guys, yep, that'll be 350. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Just somewhat basic as that, but it just cheered us up for the whole day.
Makes a big difference, man.
And you don't know what situation somebody's coming from. Most kids might have troubled households. Most staff members might have an argument with their partners or whatever. It's raining constantly. So if you can be that little bright spark in someone's day, why not?
Yeah.
And especially in this situation where every hour you're going to have about 31 kids there, 31 different stories. Yeah. And if you can build that rapport with them, like I said, if they look forward to coming to your lessons or just speaking to you, then you're winning, basically.
And I also think like your choice of words have a big positive effect.
Yeah.
Like, you give someone away, give you a thumbs up, oh, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
When compared to you give someone away, you're driving a car or whatever, and you give someone away and they just look at you and they look away. And that's it, and you're like, all right.
And again, these are life choices. You can be as influential, as positive as you want. Or you can just be sat there, you can just be another person, not really involved, not really engaging. But I feel the way you are, we've all been to lectures, we've all had teachers, we've all had people that we're listening to. And some people you're like, when's he going to stop? I can't be bothered with this. And others you're like, oh yeah, I look forward to this. The way he is, he drives, he's passionate about what he's teaching. So he wants to instill that passion in us. Yeah. Same like football coaches.
Yeah. 100%.
You see him on the touchline. I can't believe for the life of me, coaches and football managers, where their teams like scored a 93rd minute winner, and they're like, where the heck is your passion? All week you've been training for this moment, and the whole world's watching, and they're like, they've scored to a winner. Everyone's going mental, and they're like, or they're like making notes or something. Like they're nervous. Enjoy the moment. That's why Mourinho's a classic.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think Chelsea played Barcelona away, and Drogba or someone scored, and he did a knee slide on the side. Like players celebrating there, and he's doing a knee slide. Stuff like that. He remembers, and he just shows your passion.